Welcome back to episode 33 of the Dear Young Men podcast. In today's episode, we're going to talk about how to make the hard decision and why you basically always should on Dear Young Men. The Dear Young Men podcast is a weekly podcast that posts Tuesday at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we talk to the 20-year-old version of myself and all the young men out there that need guidance. So recently, over the last couple of months, my wife and I have realized that this current place that we just moved into about a year ago doesn't really fit our family. It was great. It's a lot cheaper than the place we were living in. But while we bought this place, our incomes rose more than we were expecting them to while we owned it. And our kids need a yard. Our kids have gotten a lot older and they just grow up so fast. And we didn't think that they'd be needing a yard or a spot like that to play around. So we've been taking them to the playground and it's great. But, you know, we can afford to give them a nicer home, and not even really a nicer home, a nicer plot of land for them. And so we started looking for a house, and you set a budget and you stick to the budget, and then you see what $25,000 more above that budget can get you, and then another 25,000, and then another. And then, well, it's not a big deal. Like, what about another 25? And it's crazy how it just sort of sneaks up on you, and then you're looking at homes that are $200,000 more, $100,000, $150,000 more than what you were initially planning on spending for a house. So we've been looking at a lot of houses, and we finally did decide to buy a house. So we will be moving here just in about a couple of weeks here, and it's awesome. It's got a great backyard. We're super excited about it, but it was well beneath what we got approved for. It was about half as much as what we could have gotten approved for as the purchase price of the home. And my wife and I have been talking a lot about it because we see these people in our lives who make more, maybe a little bit more than us, or about what we make, or even less than us, buying much more expensive homes. And you know, we get, it blows our mind, kind of. It's like, how can you afford a home so expensive when we can afford that home, but, you know, we feel uncomfortable owning a home that's that nice, or, you know, we won't be able to give as much as we'd like to give by owning a home that's that expensive, and yada, 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 yada. And I think what it comes down to is learning to make the hard decision. And because the hard decision most of the time is the right decision. If you have two homes and one is 100,000 and one is 400,000, and your income can barely cover the 400,000, or let's say not 100,000, like 250,000 and 400,000, and your income can barely cover the 400,000, but your income can definitely cover the 250. Obviously, the $250,000 house isn't going to be as nice, but you have to make the hard decision here and choose the less nice home, because I think that ultimately in life, every time you choose the hard decision and you choose to do the hard thing, it pays off for you. So it's more than just buying the home. It had me thinking about this idea of making the hard decision and doing the hard thing. And I think as a guy specifically, in my relationship with my wife, it's like this decision it's a conversation between the two of us. Obviously, like, I want her input, but at the end of the day, like, I'm going to have to make the call, because she's going to want the more expensive house because it's nicer. And I want the more expensive house too, but we both know the right thing to do, and one of us needs to say it. And at the end of the day, it's on me to lead our family in that direction of the hard decision. And it's not like we're buying this like junky home. This home's sweet. Like, I can't wait. We're both pumped to move into it, but we know what we could have had. And I think that idea is, a lot of people, they just get what they could have, and they never think about denying themselves ever, and the ramifications of not being able to do the things that you could do because you were so caught up buying this super nice and very expensive home. So make the hard decision. Take away money from yourself, live beneath your means, go to the gym, sacrifice your time, stay off your phone, give money you could spend on yourself, and make the hard decision. When we were looking around at our friends and family, we see that they buy these incredible homes, and maybe like a nice home is good, obviously, right? A nice home is good. But there's that Kanye West quote where he says, being rich isn't everything, but everyone wants to find out for themselves. Or being rich won't make you happy, but everyone wants to find out for themselves. And I think that you look at a home and the financial implications of a more expensive home is it's more expensive to maintain, obviously a more expensive payment, all that stuff. And it's like you start to think about the things you could have, like maybe a wife working part-time is more important than, or no time at all, and spending more time with the kids and raising them to be good kids. Maybe that's more important than a nicer home, a bigger home. Like the easy decision for us would have been to buy the insane house, the incredible over the top home that's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. And we could have done that. And we also could have my wife work full time and make more than twice what she's making now. And we could also not have our kids spend as much time with us as parents, make her go full time. And what that is that's a really materialistic way to think. I think it's the way that most people think. And I understand there are basic needs and stuff, and you got to cover your basic needs, and I do get that. But then I do think there's a lot of people who in America especially, we live this life of abundance, and it's wonderful. But this materialistic things over people attitude that we live with, we deal with on a daily basis, everybody sees it. I mean, I mess up with it all the time. It's like stuff is cool. I mean, like I got this, you see the bag behind me, I got this cool bag. It was very expensive. And it's okay to buy those things sometimes. I think I'm a little harder on myself than I need to be about that stuff. But I think it's like, I think that idea of living beneath your means, and it's kind of what's frustrated me about Dave Ramsey a little bit is he's this big Christian, and I know he's got a lot of money, but then he lives in this like palace, and I know what you need in a home is not that, and it's always I don't know. It's like the king of the universe, the one that saves mankind, was born in a stable in a manger, and they didn't have a house. And then we live like kings, comparatively to how he lived, and so obviously, like, I'm not gonna, I can give my kids this life, and so I'm going to, and I think that that's what I should do. But I do think there's that middle ground of, do you need to buy them a $750,000 house, or would they be happy with a 3-bedroom house with a couple bathrooms and a nice yard? Would they be just as happy so long as you get to spend time with them? I think that's what they want. That they want to spend time with you, and that a more expensive home means more work, more this, more that, more time to maintain it, and it means less time with them. So yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. It's an interesting thought I had. It's like, just if you choose to make the hard decision every day, where would you be? Right? So that's a big hard decision. What about the little hard decisions? So I was talking to my friend Tom this week, and we were both sort of talking about how the two of us lack a little discipline. Sorry, Tom, I'm not trying to call you out here, but I'm going to call you out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I've talked about Tom before. He's got a channel, Tom in the Sky. He's awesome. He's a brilliant filmmaker. He's gonna be huge on YouTube. It's just a matter of time. I guarantee it. I promise you. I said I should have bought stock in Tom, because I knew, like, if I could have just sold my shares back when he had like 200 subscribers or 400 subscribers when I met him. He's already had like almost 3,000 now. Tom's awesome. Makes great videos. You should check him out. Anyways, him and I were sort of like going back and forth about how maybe one of our problems is that we lack a little bit of discipline, and how just doing the little things and how those wins will stack up. And so I've been thinking about like this. I've been trying to reframe the way I think about my days. Instead of, I think for me, everybody goes, oh, you got to set goals. And so I'm like, oh, I'll set goals. Like, I want to do this. I want to run a marathon. I want to be a +5 handicap. I want to get way better at golf. I want to shoot under par every single time. That's a great goal. Like, those are great goals. Like, cool. I ran a marathon once. It was cool. It's a thing that I'll never do again. Running sucks and it's for losers. I'm just joking. I play golf, so. But no, it's running super tough, and I'm not a huge fan of it. But it's like, you don't run a marathon. You do the training for a marathon, and then you break that down even more. And it's like, you plan out your training for the week. And really, you have this training plan for months for a marathon. and you break it down sort of by week. It's like this week you run this many miles, this week you run this many miles. And you break that down even further, and it's like on Monday run 4, Tuesday run 5, Wednesday take a day off, Thursday run 3, Friday run 2 or whatever, Saturday run 20. There's always like a lot of running on Saturday for me, and then Sunday take the day off. And then you break that down even more, and it's like on Monday I'm going to start my run at 7 a.m. and 5 miles I should finish before 8 a.m. And that's going to be my running. So if you think about it like that, and if you just did those little things, you broke it down into small things, what could you accomplish? And so I've been thinking a lot about this idea of, I have all these things I want to accomplish. And I talked about in my last episode. I was obviously really hard on myself, and a lot of people have told me that. And I agree with you, and I would never disagree with somebody saying that I'm hard on myself. I know I can do better, so I respond well to being hard on myself. That's just sort of how I respond well. And it might sound crazy to a lot of people hearing me talk like that. So, yes, I'm hard on myself, and it is what it is. I'm probably not going to change. But I was thinking, I'm a golfer. I'm a big golfer. So I was looking at Tiger Woods' daily routine. Greatest golfer of all time. He's the number one golfer of all time. He had the greatest peak. He was just the best at his peak. I think that his peak now, he would still be the best player in the world. That's how good he was. That's the difference between him and Jack. So Jack Nicklaus was really good. He won more majors, came in second in more majors, but his peak was just sort of like he was playing against not these great players, and he played for a really long time. He's obviously second best of all time, but Tiger is the best. I also grew up with Tiger, so I'm super, super biased. And you look at his daily routine. Right, so he's the number one golfer in the world. He had every record. He held all 4 majors in 2000, and he is the greatest golfer of all time. So I just want to preface that. And then you listen to his routine, and you go, this is all stuff I could do if I didn't have a job, basically, right? 6:30 a.m., 1 hour cardio. 7:30 a.m., do 1 hour of lower body weight training. 8:30, eat a high-protein, low-fat breakfast. 9 a.m., work on the range for 2 hours. Hit balls to the range. 11 a.m., 30 minutes to 1 hour of putting. 12 at noon, he plays 9 holes. 1:30, he eats a high-protein, low-fat lunch. At 2 p.m., 3 to 4 hours of range work and short game. 6:30 p.m., 30-minute upper body weight training. 7 o'clock, dinner and rest, and then repeat. And you listen to that day and you go, that's basic. I mean, he's not doing anything insane. He's not like, oh, well, at 147, I do this one activity that only I have access to. He runs, he lifts weights, he eats healthy, he hits balls of the range, he putts, he plays golf, he eats healthy again, and then he hits some more golf balls, chips, and then he does upper body training. It's a very basic schedule. But then you look at his in aggregate results over the course of his life, and it's just doing the same thing every single day. You look at how that translated and correlated to his whole career, and it's like, that's the greatest golfer of all time. And that's all that he did. It's a lot. It's 12 hours and 30 minutes of stuff. I mean, there's some eating and stuff in there, but it's 12 hours of stuff. But it's not groundbreaking. He just did the basics day in and day out. So what I started doing is I've been thinking about this idea a lot. And so I'm trying to do something that works for me. So I have this piece of paper that I carry around in my wallet. And all it does is just break down the basics each day that I want to accomplish. I'm going to show you on the screen here. And if you're not watching, it's a very basic, it's a 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. And so I have each day planned. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I just plan out the things that I want to do. So today I want to film a podcast. I did my back workout, ab workout, stretch, and I wanted to script the podcast out. And now I'm filming it. I want to do some swing review videos, and I want to pack our house up. And so it's just this like doing the basics every single day. Where will that get me? So tomorrow I'm going to do my chest workout. I'm going to run for 20 minutes. Maybe. I don't like running. I do like sprinting. Sprinting's kind of fun. But I don't like just running at a 9-minute pace for like 2 hours. And then I'm going to stretch. And then I'm going to fast until noon. I'm going to edit the podcast tomorrow night. And then I'm going to do 3 more Scott Schroeder swing reviews. Same thing with Tuesday. It's like leg workout, stretch, post the podcast. It should already be ready to post, but it should be posting on Tuesday. Pack up the house for 30 minutes. Make some more swing reviews. Make some clips of this podcast. And export them and then upload them. And then Wednesday, I'm going to do arms, 20 minutes cardio, stretch. I'm going to hit some balls at the range for 30 minutes. I'm going to pack for the trip. We're going on a trip this week, and I'm going to bring up my 45-pound kettlebell so I can work out, and I'm going to plan that out. And then I'm going to make thumbnails for the clips that I make on Tuesday, get those out ready to post, and then schedule those out. And so it's nothing groundbreaking. It's just the basics laid out in front of me. And I think for me, and maybe some people don't need to do this, but I think for me, I sort of need to be told what to do. I respond really well to negative. If you're going to take something away from me, negative reinforcement, I think that would be what that is, then I respond really well to it. So I show up to my job on time. I do a really good job at my job. I'm good at my job, but it's like, I need my job. I got to pay for this house. I got to pay for golf. I got to pay. My kids need to eat. They need healthcare, all this stuff. I got to pay for it. So I'm never going to not work, right? Like it's what I have to do right now. It's I got to go to my job. I'm going to do a good job, and that's how I'm going to pay for everything. And so for me, that's a great enforcement mechanism because I have to do it. Like I know that I can't not do it. Like everyone's depending on me. That's good. Everybody isn't depending on me to work out. That is for me. I mean, I want to have longevity. I think that's my workout model these days is now that I have kids, it's like, I don't really care if I look good, really. I mean, I think I'll naturally look a lot better just by working out more consistently. But frankly, when I'm 65, when I'm 70, when I'm 75, when I'm 80, I want to be able to run around with my grandkids and my kids still. And I don't want to not be able to do that. I want to play golf with them when I'm in my 70s. I want my grandkids to have great memories with me because I was active with them. My grandparents were all so old. I never really had that connection with my grandparents. So I want to be, if my kids have kids young enough, if I'm 80 when they have their first kid, well, what am I going to do about that? But I'm hopeful that I can be an active dad their whole lives and then an active grandparent and keep up with them. And they're not worried about me like, oh man, like, dad doesn't even move anymore. So I want to just make sure that I'm training for longevity, but like that's not like a negative reinforcement. That's because I want to do it. It's like a positive reinforcement. I'm going to get something out of it. And so for me, that's not enough. Like I need to plan it out because I'm not just going to go work out because I have to, because nobody's going to take anything away from me. I'm not going to lose anything. So I need to plan it out and just say like, this is what I'm going to do. And there's nothing I can do about it. It's like why I have the Tuesday at like 6 or 7 or 8 a.m. I don't know when I post these podcasts, about 8 a.m. ish Eastern Standard Time. And I have to have that because if I don't, I won't do it. And I need a deadline. I work best with a deadline. And so these are my deadlines. Like each day I need to accomplish these tasks. And if I don't, then I failed and I have to try to self-correct the next day, or I failed that day. And that just means I failed. So now I'm going to not fail the next day. So that's sort of been my plan. I think it's a great thing to do because you no longer have to rely on motivation, and it's not even really discipline because I feel like I have excellent discipline and I can do a lot of stuff. I've done a lot of stuff and I've done a lot of stuff for a long time and had no payoff for it. And like I'm a plus 2.4 handicap right now, which means when I go to a golf course, I have to give the course shots because I'm so good is basically what that means. And I'm not as good as I know I could be. I just sort of got back into this year and I got down to a plus 0.2. I plan on being a plus 5 next year. And that is like, to get to that level, like you have to just do it day in and day out for years and years and years. And so I do have good discipline. It's just, I think I've mentioned this before where it's like I'm a cannon and I just need to be aimed correctly. And if I'm aimed correctly, I'll do it. The problem is I haven't been aiming myself. And this right here, this piece of paper is my attempt to aim myself. I'll let you know next week if it worked out well. And if it didn't work out well, I'm going to figure something out because I need to aim better and I need to accomplish the things that I know that I can accomplish. So, anyways, let's see. I got a couple more things here. Podcast Pro right here saying, let's see. So yeah, like I said, for the next week, I'm going to schedule out everything, see how effective and efficient I am at doing it. As I was typing this out, I was making this and I printed my schedule. So I'm going to choose to make the hard decision every single day. If I don't want to work out, I'm going to work out. I'm going to find the time to do it every single day. And I'm just going to stack win after win after win after win. And they're not going to be big wins. They're going to be tiny wins. They're going to be almost insignificant to my day. But if I just stack those wins long enough, if I, like, let's say I want to have a six pack, I'm going to have to lose weight and work out more, right? That's it. It's basic. So I have to eat less food than I burn, less calories than I burn, and then I just have to go to the gym. So what am I going to do to do that? Well, every single day I need to show up and go to the gym, and every single day I need to eat less calories than I'm consuming, or I need to burn more calories than I'm eating. So eat less than I'm burning. And that's it. There's no like crazy, there's no insane secret to it. It's the basics. That's it. It's always the basics. You just do the little tiny wins every single day, stack that up for long enough. And I think that I have done that before and it worked, and it's going to work this time. And so I would suggest doing that. Break out your day, break out your stuff into small wins. You want to get in better shape, just start by planning out your workout schedule and what workouts you're going to, not even workouts, what muscle group you're going to do, and then go to the gym and just, even if you just do 2, that's okay. Like, just do something, because something is better than nothing. And, it's always like, well, science-based lifting and this lifting and that lifting. It's like, dude, that's so stupid. Just lift something, because lifting something is better than not lifting something. If you do it for 2 years or a year or something, yeah, okay, you can start optimizing it, of course, but do it for a year before you even consider optimizing it. Just show up for a year. Anyways, I got a comment on my last podcast about, I wanted to mention this before we leave. I got a comment about my last podcast about leading people to Christ, and I just wanted to address that. It was a very thoughtful comment, and I'm not claiming to be a theologian or a priest or anything like that. I am just like a perfectly normal dude. Like, I have a wife and kids. I work a 9 to 5. I have things I'm passionate about. I sin all the time. Like, sloth is this sin that just has its grip on me. And it's the one that that takes hold of me the quickest. I think sloth is the one, and it's the one that makes me the most upset. I think that's why it takes hold of me, because I think that makes sense, right? Because that's the one that means the most to me to not be. I don't want to be sloth. That's like the last thing I want to be. I don't want to be lazy. And I think that's why that one grips hold of me so much, because that's the angle to get through to me, because that's the one that means the most to me, right? So, but all I want to do is I want my example of life and the way I live life to be an argument for my ideas. And my ideas are Christian, and they're from the Bible. And my ideas are true, and they're good because they come from Jesus Christ. And so I am not sitting here saying, oh, I'm going to be your spiritual leader. I'm going to be your spiritual guide. Not even a little bit. I just want to show you that there is a door. I might not even open that door for you, but I just want to show you that there's a door, and I went through it, and it's better. It's harder, but it's better through the door. And so I'm just going to show you the door, and maybe I might creak it open for some people, but that's not something, I know I can't do it. And I just want to show people that there's a door, that you can go to the door. So I'm a guy, so I get male-based content, right, on the apps. And there are an endless supply of these hyper masculine alpha males who are preaching money as the highest good, and the number of women you could have sex with as that's their highest good. Of a high value man. That's a myth. There's no such thing as a high value man. That type of stuff it's like the veneer of Christianity, but it's like underneath it all, it's just evil. Because you think it's like, oh yeah, well, Christianity is masculine. Like Jesus makes the whip and drives out the people. And this is my father's house. And he drives them out. He is masculine. He's a man, so he was masculine. But that form of masculinity is wrong. And that's sort of what I've been trying to scratch at and hopefully peel away a little bit in this podcast, is that masculinity is wrong and it's evil and it's going to lead people to misery. Money and stuff and things, like, you can have all that stuff. I have all the money, stuff, and things I could ever possibly want, and I don't get any happiness from them. I get happiness from challenging myself in accomplishing tasks and being a good father and being a good husband and doing those types of things. This bag behind here, right here, this bag's super cool. I'm a huge fan of Rory McIlroy. He's a golfer. That bag cost me $100. When I bought it, it was so cool and so much fun. And I'm like, and then I got home and I'm like, why did I even buy this? Like, it's cool. Like, it's definitely cool. I'm going to keep it. But it's like, it's just a thing. Like, it doesn't bring me any joy. I don't look at it and go, oh, now I'm happy. It's like, yeah, it's cool. I don't know. It's sweet. Like, it's cool. And that's how I look at it. I go, it's cool. Like, that's it. Stuff only. But then I look at my kids every day and I'm like, that's the most amazing thing I've ever seen. They're incredible. And I look at my wife and I'm like, even though we fight sometimes, it's like, I love that woman so much. And there are those types of things where, like, every time I look at my wife, I get a feeling. I get, like, even if it's anger sometimes, it's like I have an emotion. I look at that bad and I go, huh, it's kind of cool. So stuff just won't buy you happiness. So I want to end here with so those types of people, they're exceptionally popular with young men. And I want to show young men that, and this is to quote Billy Graham. I'm just going to play it, actually. I'm not even going to quote him.
Yes, Jesus Christ is alive. He rose from the dead, and that day, that Easter Sunday morning, that first Easter, when Mary and Mary Magdalene and Salome went to the grave expecting to anoint a dead body, they saw the angel sitting there. And they said, "Where is Jesus?" The angel said, "He is not here, he is risen." I submit to you tonight that that's the greatest news the world has ever heard. He is not here. He has conquered the grave. He's alive.
He's alive. It's the truth. And so there's so much more to this life than just sin. There's so much more than stuff and putting, as many women as you can have sex with at your highest good and doing this and doing that and living a life of sin. That's easy. It feels good, right? All that stuff feels good. And it's wrong. And we know it's wrong because you'll look back. And at the time, it was fun for me to play on my phone and not do anything. And then I look back and I am so frustrated at who I was that I've gotten multiple people telling me I was too hard on myself. And that's how frustrating sin is. And it grips you and takes hold of you. And if you don't fight against it, it'll pull you down into the mud. So I think I need to run from sin as fast as I can because sloth will grip me like nothing else. And I know that I've been called for more. And he calls us for more. He says so in Matthew 5:48, "Be perfect, therefore, as your heavenly Father is perfect." I'll see you in the next episode. Have a good week. Do the little things right. Make the hard decision, even if it's not the fun decision. Peace.